Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news, this time for the week ending the 20th of August. We isolate the week's news into its own unique branch and then release it to the public. The schedule report. So CIG and Foundry 42 are still working hard on getting 3.0 alpha ready for release. There are 77 issues currently that require fixing. This is down from last week's 83. That number is not representative of the amount of work done though. Throughout the week many more blockers have been identified and have been fixed, and that's just the ending number 77. The team have tackled many important issues that allow QA to progress beyond those blockers to test deeper into the game, which can mean they find new bugs that they couldn't discover before. This week, they've also moved their code onto a 3.0 branch. Branching is when they copy the code from their main repository with all the developers and their fixes and implementations all going into a single code base. There's going to be Squadron 42 stuff there. There's going to be stuff that are many magnitudes beyond 3.0. Basically, they copy that to a separate branch and start looking more closely at what is changing to make sure that any activity that is happening is absolutely necessary for the target build. While there are benefits in having all the devs work on the same codebase during production, so that features and new systems are applied simultaneously across the board, the isolation granted from branching allows them to focus more closely on a particular stable release. So they've officially moved all their teams over to the 3.0 build, which is going to help provide further triage and quicker must-fix issue fixing. In all the internal builds, they checked in over 2,052 updates this week, swathes of bugs have been fixed, and they're going over the user experience with a polish pass. The Entity Owner Manager code is complete for 3.0, and there's additional work being done for the Vehicle Customizer app, the Ship Selector app, and insurance claims, as well as the comm system UI. They're all receiving extra polish and improvements. So the Burndown gave us some more important information on 3.0, and what is causing some issues and what's being worked on more targeted in ATV. They talked about specific problems and things. So they talked about 3.0 being the first real persistence that we're going to have, with us logging out and then logging back in where we just logged out. Our ships will be there too when we log back in. Our cargo and items will also be persistent in our cargo holds. Stealing items or ships will mean that you get to keep them too, you sneaky pirate, though door locking will help prevent that. Breaching will be a way to counter people locking their ships, but may take time, or shopkeeper animations with actors behind countertops have caused some issues where players or NPCs would use them in odd ways or not as intended, like placing a box to complete a retrieval mission directly into a NPC's face, pushing his face out the way, or her face. Face animations and subsumption for NPCs are in and working. The NPCs will say things to you, notice you, glance, and their eyes will meet yours. And this isn't just for Miles Eckhart, this is for lots of flavour NPCs, NPCs at bars, shops. 80 plus people have been involved in the animation and subsumption process for 3.0, just getting the people to look at you correctly. Usables have become broken in trying to make 3.0 ready in some situations, and they have issues, for example, with cups jittering in NPCs' hands and clipping through seats, and collisions basically pushing people out of areas and causing these animations to break. Eckhart can finish talking to players or interact with them pretty dynamically. This has caused some issues when he holds his glass and with some wild lines, and they're still polishing that up, so getting it all as perfect as they can. Alpha 3.0 has a smoother shopping experience. They've been updating the highlighting of items when you look at them with regards to purchasing, as well as updating how you interact with items for a smoother shopping experience, moving away from their AR data that they used to use. When you look at a buyable item, it will be highlighted. Attachments like magazines and scopes weren't being highlighted, as is one of the bugs that they faced, only the main body of the items. This was not as intended, so the entire item now will be highlighted when buying. Though I think they missed a trick here, personally. I would have been fine with it just highlighting the body of a weapon, just saying this is what you're buying here, you're just buying the basic body. For attachments and magazines and extra stuff, I would have highlighted those separately on the same display model, and then we were able to purchase mods for weapons, but we don't know their process for displaying weapon mods and how they're going to be purchased in the world, or even if they're in 3.0. Weapons mods for first-person shooter weapons might not be in, they might be in, we don't know. They have various issues they've been fixing with the kiosk UIs. Item System 2.0 and the new doors system have caused some interesting issues with floating doors off ships and causing collision issues inside ships. This has been a more major problem, as there are knock-on effects there as well. Doors in the current 3.0 iteration literally keep out the deadliness of space from your ship as well. So basically the starter of the room system and the pressure system. So these doors have lots and lots of things literally keeping your ship sealed. So when they fly off, they're no longer sealed. Issues like that and more have been caused by some of the major updates to various systems, and fixes can be as simple as making sure everything engine-wise conforms to the right naming conventions, or making sure that items are just hooked up to the correct system. Some of the fixes are incredibly simple and quick. This also, all the problems that they faced, allows for a more streamlined pipeline moving forward. They are able to be stricter and conform with new processes, leading to better standards. Copy Build 3 is CIG and Foundry 42's internal patcher tool. It's basically the Delta patcher, but is used internally within the studios to grab specific builds from different branches. It minimized data transfer, updating just what they need, and it's looking like it's working well now. Quantum Travel had issues with ships colliding when they were traveling to the same locations at the same time. Detecting if you're going to hit something at point 2 the speed of light and stopping was obviously an issue to stop in time. Oddly, also, there was some issues leaving Quantum Travel. Occasionally you'd become the centre of the system and literally be the star inside the star. In Quantum Questions as well, actually, there were some insurance things that they talked about. So you can put an insurance claim in 3.0, whatever the state of your ship is. All ships have the same insurance in 3.0. There's no differences on that. Everything has insurance. It basically, if you put in an insurance claim, that's going to remove the ship that you've put the insurance claim from your persistence. It won't despawn it if someone else has stolen it or whatever, but it will, if it's on the landing pad or whatever, it will effectively despawn, and that's going to give you a new ship. You're going to have to pay a deductible and wait a processing time to get your ship back. You can pay to have that service expedited though, and this is all in game with Alpha UEC. I believe also that you can just wait a certain amount of time and eventually you'll get your ship returned to you. Ship deductible fees are based on the value of the ship. Claiming on insurance will raise deductibles on all of your ships in the short term. So if you keep on crashing a ship or different ships or whatever, it doesn't matter, that's going to raise the deductibles on all your ships because the insurance company is annoyed at you. In Alpha 3.0, all ships, as I said, have exactly the same insurance, though in the future there are going to be various insurance types and the whole system will be a lot more fleshed out mechanically. Gamescom. Next week is Gamescom. CIG will be streaming Wednesday to Saturday from 10 AM CEST on twitch.tv/StarCitizen, but on Friday the 25th, it is Gamescom presentation, Star Citizen style. It's going to be possibly the best event of the year for Star Citizen. They should be showing off lots of unseen gameplay footage and talking to us about what makes Star Citizen awesome and what they've got planned for the next few months. So that's at 9 PM CEST, again on that twitch.tv/StarCitizen. I'll be running a live commentary and pre-show on my Twitch and YouTube as well, or doing something with Source on the Redacted podcast. We'll be doing something. Check it out. The next concept ship is confirmed to be on sale on Friday the 25th of August, and it will go on sale during the Gamescom presentation. It's almost certainly going to be the 600i, but that is unconfirmed. There will be two variants for the introductory prices of $400 and $435. They're going to have LTI. Tell me what you think. What do you think those are going to be? The 600i is supposed to be this luxury yacht. If they do have a variant of it, I didn't know exactly what that would be, but comments below, chuck them in. There was also a featurette on outposts in Alpha 3.0 and their current creation. I've done an overview on that, which I will put a link in the description. Every month we give away a ship for August. It's a Nox Q. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen content during that month. Do you have any questions about Alpha 3.0, about the schedule, about Gamescom, about Star Citizen's development in general, whatever, you know? A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, there is a link to Patreon below. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Everything else we've talked about as well is below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the verse.